Warmachine board, battle reward. Cygnar versus Retribution.
Guess what?
What?
We got another bat rep.
Yeah!
So Helynna again.
Yeah.
And I tried out Stryker 3. So it's my first game of Stryker 3. And my list is Stryker 3. And he's got Rowdy with him in the Stormclad. 2 units of Storm Lancers. Journeyman Warcaster with a Firefly. And a full unit of Trenchers with the command attachment, 2 weapon attachments, and Finn. And that's 75 points.
Yeah, mine is the usual. Most of you might know it already, but those of you who don't, I've got Helynna with the Phoenix, 2 Manticores, an Aspis, a Griffin, and a Chimera. And then to the left, 2 heavy weapon teams, heavy rifle teams. I forgot how they're called. 3 Arcanists. Iris is the guy in red. And a full unit of House Guard Halberdiers. And more importantly, I built 2 square zones. 2 circle zones.
Ah, yes. Okay. So we're playing. I can't remember what this.
Me neither, but it's the first time we played one of
So
these zones.
this list you've been playing for a few games now.
Yeah.
You're starting to get to grips with it. So
Yeah.
you like Helynna?
Yeah, I really like her since she. Well, I know what she does. I think the spells are all very good, except for the one with critical knockdown. That's not too useful, but anyway,
Yeah.
I think all of them are somehow.
She seems to protect everyone pretty well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, feet is
And,
awesome.
also has enough movement tricks that you can get a good charge going. usually.
Exactly. The Rhythm of War is one thing you should always cast in the first turn. I learned that now, and I try to remember now to actually move all my jacks at the end of my turn, so that helps.
And she gets the halberdiers up to like armor 21 or something on the feet turn. What is it?
Yeah, exactly. If they are in shield wall, they've got 18 plus 3 for my feet is 21. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so pretty annoying.
23 against shooting if she casts deceleration as well.
Yeah, that's really good. So here's the setup. You can see my side of the board. So I won the roll off and decided to go first because this list basically has 3 waves. So the trenchers obviously first up, and then the lancers are so fast that they can either hit at the same time as the trenchers depending on the board, or hit everything that hits the trenchers in the trade. And then it's got Stryker and the 2 jacks, which would Stryker might be able to hit in the second wave, and the jacks might be able to hit in the second wave, but probably in the third wave. Also, Rowdy's in there to protect Stryker a little bit, and it's nice to have 2 heavies to hide a large based caster behind, especially against someone who can do some good shooting. So yeah, I've got the trenchers up front in a line, ready to just get into the zones on both sides. And they're flanked by the lancers as usual. They're so fast that you can put them on the flanks. It's quite nice. And then Stryker's straight in the middle, not sure which zone he's going to go to, and the heavies are there to protect him. And the Firefly's there, so the idea with the Firefly is to try and get it into the middle of everything just before charging with the lancers. Didn't work out this game, unfortunately. So there's your deployment.
Yeah, I nearly did the same. I just put all my halberdiers in the front to screen my jacks. And the only jack with Pathfinder, the Griffin, goes to the right so that he can walk through the lake. And on the left there is a trench that can also double as an elevation in our games. And so I put my heavy rifle teams there so they can benefit from the elevation in the next turn. And also I put Iris, you can't see her now, but she's inside the trench.
So the piece of terrain that we're talking about looks like a little shack.
Yeah.
And we always play that as if you're on the ground floor, then it's a trench, and if you're on top of it, then it just treats as elevated terrain.
Exactly.
So it's like a hollow hill with a trench inside.
Yeah.
Just noticed on here your water terrain looks really watery.
Oh, it really does, yeah.
So I took the first turn, and I think this turn is where I made the biggest mistake. So the choice I had was either run the trenches up or do cautious advance, or rather dig them in, and then wait for you to come to me. And I ran them. I got a bit greedy because the Lancers are so fast. The Jacks with escort on are pretty fast, so I didn't want them all to get piled up behind the trenches. So I wanted the trenches 6 inches further forward. So I ran them, and what that meant was they weren't dug in, so they were easier to shoot. But the absolute main thing was that the halberdiers can now run and engage on turn 1.
Yeah.
And that really takes the momentum out of my whole game, really, because it means the trenches can't do their charge on turn 2, because, I mean, they can sort of, but it's nowhere near as good. So my idea was to get Fury up on the trenches for a turn 2 charge, and then use Stryker's feet on the turn after that, after the trenches has been removed. But, yeah, so in this playing the same matchup on the same table, same game again, I would dig those trenches in.
Yeah.
I would have them much closer together to give enough room for everyone else to sort of get around the sides a bit, and because those cavalry really want to be all the way around the sides. But as it is at the moment, I've got the trenches spaced out. I got the cavalry sort of on the sides. They didn't run the full distance, but they did run a long way. And then, as said, the 2 heavies blocking the line of sight to Stryker. So I got Arcane Shield up on the Lancers on the left. Really missed not having the armour buff from Maddox on the ones on the right. I've got Escort up, and what's the other spell called? Iron Aggression. Yeah. That's the other one I got up. So yeah, that's my turn 1, and then your turn 1 looked like this.
Yeah, what did I do? Right, I just like you said, I just moved all my halberdiers up, or at least enough to engage all of your trenches.
Kind of accepting that the halberdiers would get some nasty things done to them on my turn 2.
Yeah.
So rather than choosing to walk up in shield wall, you decided to run up and engage, and that turned out to be excellent, especially with the Manticore templates.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you can see.
So because the halberdiers have got reach, they can engage through the templates.
Yeah, exactly. And
really nasty.
And in case you want to try and engage me, you get shot by the Manticores. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else did I do? Right, the Griffin moved up very far to the right side through the water and engaged one of your Storm Lancers. Couldn't do anything there, but he engaged at least. And Iris did a little mistake on the left. She moved up to exactly 12 inches and shot the Storm Lancers on the left to dispel the armor buff.
Yes.
But
she damage to the horse as well.
But she forgot to reposition 3 inches back, so that was pretty.
So with your spell that gives you reposition at the end of your turn, and I've got cavalry, and we both forget to reposition just all the time.
Yeah,
and it's so good and so useful and powerful, and it's a shame to forget it.
Yeah, I just tend to learn now how to use it. For example, the Griffin moved that far only because of the reposition spell.
Yeah, so that Griffin is right up next to one of my Storm Lancers. Yeah.
Yeah, that was basically my turn. Yeah, as I planned, my heavy weapon teams crawled up the trench.
Yes. Yeah, and they proved quite useful later in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so those halberdiers, and I've got with the template in front of them, that's what I've got to deal with now. So my turn was quite. I sort of used a lot of gaming, I guess, not really sportsman-like. So I hadn't. If I charged through your templates, then my trenches would have just died.
Yeah.
Also, almost all of your guys were less than 3 inches away, so I wasn't getting a charge bonus. I got Fury up on them, and some of them were able to charge the halberdiers. And then what I did was I used the rules. Yeah, it's called gamesmanship, is what I would call this. So using the rules to act in a way that it probably isn't intended for the game. So what I did was I charged across the wall in the middle.
Right.
There's a wall straight up the middle. and because I was charged across it, I was able to stop my charge before hitting the templates. But because they have assault, I was still able to get my shots.
Yeah.
But you feated on your turn.
Yeah,
turn
right.
and feat.
Right.
So my shots were pretty useless anyway.
Yeah, that was very good, the feeding, yeah.
But a couple of the trenches did get in base contact. They had Fury up, so they did some damage. Starting on the right, the Lancers charged the what's it called? Griffin. Didn't really do anything.
No. Due to bad dice rolling. Mostly.
Yes, I mean I had mount attacks, but also the feat makes a big difference. Right. Mount attacks, assault shots, and brutal charge, and didn't really do much. The Stormclad sat and I was supposed to be working from the right across. So Rowdy moved over just to make room for Stryker to cast Fury on the trenches, and then I forgot to reposition Stryker. So what I could have done was I could have just moved him out from behind the two heavies, cast a spell, and just moved him back. And I didn't because I'm not used to using reposition. The Stormclads just sat there and aimed and shot one of the halberdiers with his shooting. It was just about 8 inches away. What did the Firefly do? Did he do a shot? Yeah, he tried to shoot a halberdier and missed, I believe.
Yeah.
And because of the not repositioning Iris on the left, one of my Stormlancers were able to charge her and kill her.
That was pretty...
it was quite close, but I managed to get her I missed with the mount shot and hit her with the lance.
Yeah.
So occupying the zones, it's my turn too. I was the first player, so I didn't score any points, but completely occupying the zone on the left.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of room for you to come in and contest. And then you've got a light sitting there in the zone on the right.
Yeah.
So that's not really a problem for scoring points on your turn for me.
Yeah.
So here's your turn.
Yeah, let's see.
Oh, it doesn't look good.
What I did. On the right, you can see that my Griffin actually managed to kill 2 horses and I believe damage the third one.
Yeah.
My halberdiers cleared a bit of the trenches. If I remember correctly, right. And what
you
else
did a trample attack.
Oh, right, that was a good one. Yeah, the trample attack with the Griffin. He
it's a Manticore, isn't it?
That's a Manticore, of course. Yes. Yeah. The Griffin is the one to revive.
The guy with his arms out to the sides, flying.
Exactly. That's the running Manticore.
So
he
trampled.
No problem. He trampled to who was standing there again? One of your horses, right?
No. It was. Yeah. No, you're right. It was. Yeah.
And he killed it. And killed, I believe, two trenches as well.
Didn't he kill both horses in the end? Oh no, it was your rifle teams that killed the other horse.
Exactly. The rifle teams shot one horse as well and damaged another one, I believe, but didn't manage to kill them outright.
So you really singled out my cavalry.
Yeah, because I know how dangerous they are.
Yeah, with the Stryker 3's feet, they're just crazy.
Yeah.
And I hadn't feated yet, so you knew that. So it was very wise. Even though the cavalry was kind of shielded, you still managed to pick them off. Which is quite frustrating for me.
Yeah.
I kind of watched my damage potential dissolve in this turn.
Yeah, it looked very good, but turned out worse, apparently.
So your turn. Yeah, you got your Manticore, and what's this guy over on this side?
That's the Chimera, my
Chimera.
little...
got them into the left-hand zone.
Yeah.
And you still got your light in the right-hand zone, so at the end of your turn no one scored.
Yeah. Though I tried to clear the zone, the left one.
So at this point I wasn't enjoying the game as much, so you kind of took all of the momentum out of my list. So I still had the possibility of an assassination, still had the possibility of scoring on scenario and winning, and vaguely the possibility of attrition. So with that in mind, I feated with Stryker.
Right.
So I think I activated the trenches first, and they were able to free up Stryker so he could move away from your halberdiers. And they also did a little bit of damage to maybe another halberdier. I can't really remember. It was only about 20 minutes ago. And Stryker took out one of the halberdiers, shot someone...
Right, I charged Stryker with my halberdiers. That was it.
Oh, yeah.
Or I tried to.
That's
do
right,
much.
yeah. But Rowdy countercharged, didn't he?
Yeah.
Anyway, Stryker activated, killed one of the halberdiers, tried to shoot someone, and then repositioned into the right-hand zone. And then Rowdy helped clear out the light. He completely demolished that light that was in the zone. So that freed up that zone on the right for me. So that was 2 points. And then on the left, I just wasn't able to clear away that light. It was still contesting, which is a shame because that would have almost closed out the game at that point. So I didn't score that point on that side. But I did manage to take out the Manticore who was sitting there. It was pretty easy pickings on feet turn. For the Stormclad, I think he one-shotted him, I think.
Yeah, maybe,
he had some damage from the Firefly already.
Right, that was why.
But then the Stormclad came along and hit him once with his sword, and that was crazy. So I've got my 2 points, and I'm doing pretty well on the zones.
Yeah.
Stryker's pretty well protected, because Rowdy's got countercharge. But... yeah, I still got some work to do to score points or to assassinate. Yeah,
at that point I really didn't know what to do anymore, so I desperately tried to somehow assassinate Stryker by trying to lure him out of the zone.
That's right.
With Helynna and her magical staff. So I tried to, hit him and push him 3 inches towards my heavy rifle teams, which didn't work out.
No, so first of all, the Phoenix came along and missed a shot, which drifted over and also failed to damage the Lancer.
Right, yeah, exactly, that as well. I managed to do the Hand of Destruction spell on Stryker so that I got an additional die, but it didn't make too much of a difference.
So Hand of Destruction came afterwards through the Phoenix.
Yeah, exactly, that's
so
why I moved the Phoenix there. Yeah,
cast that spell.
Exactly.
And then tried to shoot Stryker with her thing, but she's got pretty crappy rat.
Yeah, 5.
So, and he's at defense 15, so that didn't hit. And then, really nastily, your right hand, the remaining Manticore, moved up in order to try and shoot Stryker.
Right, and I didn't.
And I was able to countercharge with Rowdy.
Yeah, I forgot about that,
I still had focus, so I was able to boost my attack and knocked you down.
Right.
Which ended your activation.
Yeah, that was really stupid.
Yeah.
Should have asked you about it or read the rules.
It was at the point in the game where I wasn't prepared to be a gentleman anymore and tell you about it.
Totally right.
So basically you're contesting both zones.
Yeah.
But as it turned out, I was in a position to do something about it.
Yeah.
So finally, still got Fury up on the trenches. So the 3 trenches over on the left were able to charge and clear out that light.
Yeah.
Oh, on the previous turn you killed the Journeyman Warcaster.
Right, that was very good. Yeah.
So the Firefly is now inert in the left-hand zone. So the remaining trenches. I wonder if inert stuff can contest.
We should look that up once.
All that control zones.
Read the commentary.
Anyway, the trenches were in there at more than and had that zone. I'm not sure about that actually, whether or not I should have scored that zone. Oh well. Then I spotted that the Stormcloud could actually charge Helynna, which he did, and did enough damage to kill her with his charge attack.
Yeah.
Which was a crazy charge attack, but then we remembered that you could buy yourself 5 damage points with the focus.
Exactly.
So she was pretty badly. She had 4 boxes left.
3 even.
3 boxes left. So we thought that was it, but then we realised that no, she has got 3 boxes left. So, but she's engaged by the Stormclad now.
So next turn she would have died anyway.
It doesn't look that good. Then Rowdy was able to charge yet again, and because he was automatically hitting the Chimera, the Manticore, that was knocked down.
Yeah.
He squashed that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And the remaining Lance, a Storm Lance, managed to kill the Arcanist who was sitting in the
right.
zone. So that brought me up to 4 points on the right and maybe or maybe not 5 points on the left. But either way, if it was 5 points, we called it.
Yeah.
And so it looked like Stryker was too difficult to assassinate.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah.
And Helynna was
too easy to.
Relatively,
So,
look bad for Helynna. So.
Yeah, she was a bit. She was a bit out in the open. I didn't pay too much attention to that because I paid too much attention to killing Stryker.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's often the way with assassinations that you
Yeah.
end up putting your caster in too much danger.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was it. So generally, I felt like my plan didn't come off, but I managed, because of Stryker's feat being so powerful.
Yeah.
Even with the heavy jacks, I was able to do enough damage to stuff to pull it back on the attrition.
Yeah, definitely.
And we're still in control of both zones anyway.
Yeah.
So even if I hadn't scored on this turn, I imagine
It would have been very difficult for me to prevent you from gaining at least 1 point.
Yeah, I mean, I would have. Yeah, you couldn't really contest the right hand zone anymore.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that would have been it probably.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really important. So I was kind of playing scenario, attrition, and assassination simultaneously.
Yeah.
And I really thought this list would just be such a hard-hitting feat that no one would be able to recover from it.
If I wouldn't have shot all your horses, it would have been.
It was your feet.
Yeah.
Your feet. So it was the trenches. So it wasn't anything to do with when I timed my feet. It was the trenches running instead of being cautious.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
And then your well-timed feet, which stopped me really doing anything to you on the first turn. On my second turn.
Yeah.
So I thought you played. Yeah, I mean, with this list, you keep on getting better and better.
Yeah, I realised that as well.
I think you should change to a caster you don't know anything about. And I had fun with Stryker. I missed some of the stuff that Maddox has that he did, but I really liked his feat. Didn't like how easy it was to kill the cavalry before they could get to you.
Yeah.
So this is a version of this list without Lattimore. So I want to get Lattimore in there to get the shooting better on the Stormlancers for their charges. But we'll see, because I'm still trying to decide between Stryker 3 and Maddox. And at the moment I feel like Maddox doesn't have that completely brutal turn.
That's right.
Of the feat. It's pretty bad, like +3 power is pretty good. She doesn't like the cavalry quite as much.
Yeah.
But she's got that extra armour buff, and she's got snipe, which is great for the cavalry and the trenches.
Yeah.
And she's still got the Pathfinder for everyone. It doesn't come up much in our gaming group because I don't think many people stop. They don't have like putting up AoEs or anything like forests or anything like that.
Yeah.
But in a meta where that was more prevalent, then it would be more important to get Pathfinder with Maddox. So I kind of don't like the idea of Maddox, but I've had a lot of success.
Yeah.
I really like the idea of Stryker.
Yeah.
But he seems like if you've got an answer to him, then you just lose. If you don't have an answer to him, then he probably would trample you into the ground. Yeah. And it's kind of not that fun. It's good for
I know what you mean,
for competitions.
Yeah.
But in a casual game, if it's that brutal, but now I've played against the list that I thought I would today. I thought I had a very good chance today, and it was a lot more difficult than I thought.
Yeah.
So it's kind of good knowing that he's not just an auto win against certain lists.
Yeah, I like that as well. Yeah.
That was good. Cool. All right, well, that's it, and we're both very tired.
Yeah.
So, bye.
Good night.